How to see a waxing crescent moon. When and where do you see it? Hi everyone, and thanks for being here. We're going to pick up on learning the phases of our moon, where we've just begun with the new moon. So if you need to catch up, just check out that video here on our channel, and I'll be sure to make a playlist for the moon's phases, so you'll find it there as well. So with the new moon, we learned that the reason that we can't see it is because that is the phase of the moon that's where the moon is traveling too close to the sun along the arc of the ecliptic during the daytime, where the sun's light occults the moon from our sight. The new moon phase is when the sun and the moon are in sync with one another and are moving together along the arc of the ecliptic. But the moon is traveling around this real oracle or real all-seeing eye in the sky a little faster from our perspective here on the ground than the sun does. This shows up in the difference between a solar year and a lunar year. A solar year, as you may already know, is the length of time it takes the sun to travel all the way around what we call the real oracle or the real all-seeing eye in the sky to get back to where it was when you started tracking it. Now, the only way to track any luminary is by paying attention to the star constellations behind that luminary that you're tracking, as our ancient ancestors long ago figured out, and it's this great knowledge that we as a collective people have largely lost. But our mission here is to return to this highest knowledge that we so practically need today. This is why we've begun our focus on learning the star constellations, specifically in this area of the sky first, because as you'll see over and over again, they serve as what you can think of as a permanent landmark in the sky. The star constellations' consistent year after year cycle helps orient us as we're tracking what some of our ancient ancestors called the wandering stars. We usually call them luminaries around here, of which the moon is always the biggest and brightest you'll find in the night sky. So when you're tracking the sun against the background of star constellations, you may already know that it takes approximately 365 and a quarter days for the sun to make its way all the way around the real oracle or the real all-seeing eye, but the moon is moving a bit faster, and it completes its journey in around 354 days. That's a difference then of about 11 days between a solar year and a lunar year. This difference in the sun's and the moon's speeds around the real oracle or the real all-seeing eye is one of the real causes for the moon's phases that we see. So because the moon moves a little faster than the sun, after the new moon phase, the sun and the moon are going to start becoming more and more out of sync with each other. Or in other words, they're going to grow apart. And when the sun and the moon start this growing apart phase, it means that we'll be able to start seeing the moon in the night sky again. But when and where? Well, a waxing crescent moon is when we'll be able to see our moon in the night sky again, and it will always be found following the sun just as the sun is setting in the west. The waxing crescent moon will also always be lit up on the same side that faces the sun's direction, so you'll always see the moon's west side, or the right side, lit up as you're looking up at it. One of the coolest things we've discovered about the moon's phases is that they can also be used as a clock, as well as in helping to keep a calendar. The shape of the waxing crescent moon is a kind of visual clock, as it's shaped just like a thumbnail, right? Where just the sliver of the moon is lit up. And this tells you, this is the clue, that the crescent moon will only be visible for a sliver of nighttime hours, or just a thumbnail amount of light. And it will be always just as the sun sets and found over the western horizon for just a short time, as it follows the sunset to its own moonset for the night. So let's pull this all together. A waxing crescent is what it's called because this crescent moon is on its way back toward full. So a waxing crescent moon is waxing full. It is lit on the same west side or right side following the sun. It's always found over the western horizon, and just for a sliver of night or a thumbnail amount of nighttime hours, and always at the beginning of those nighttime hours. Some of the information in this piece comes from our book, Moon Days 2022, to help you learn the moon cycle and phases, and how the moon can be used both as a clock and a calendar. You can find the links down in the description. Subscribe and like if you did, if you would be so kind, and be sure to check out our other vids here on our channel to start reclaiming highest knowledge like this for yourself. For more, you can visit our website, starsnearme.com, and until next time, stay lit and be well.